everyone. Aaron here with the Cool Story Show. I'm joined by
Andy Spiteri,
David Meyer,
and I'm gonna ask a question.
Another Quickie.
I want to know about your guys' first times. Was it awful? Was it weird? Was it funny?
My first time going to the grocery store?
First time playing baseball?
First time doing the podcast was really good. I had a lot of fun, yeah.
I'll rephrase, guys. Your first time having sex with a girl. Or with a guy, whatever your preference was at that point. So I want to know about your first time having sex.
That would imply anyone here has had sex.
Well, we can make this up. We can make this up, or it could be at a video
This
game.
may or may not be all made up. It may be true.
I hope my family's not listening.
Yeah, dad, mom, especially mom. Fuck.
I'm sorry.
Ugh.
To the girl I'm about to talk about, if you ever hear this, she's never going to hear this.
Andy, we'll start with you.
Okay. I was, my first time was actually pretty good. Not gonna lie. I mean, not performance-wise. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I mean, that was terrible. But
no one knows what they're doing.
No. The actual first time itself was pretty good. I had been seeing my girlfriend for about a year. Actually, it was exactly 1 year.
Can we all agree on just fake names for the girls?
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's protect their identity.
She'll be codenamed Phalangel. So it was me and Phalangels 1 year. And,
Phalangel?
No one's ever going to know her name with that code name. Okay, so me and Phalangel have been seeing each other for a year, okay? And, I'd never had sex. She'd never had sex. 1 year's coming up, and we get to the point where we're like, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna do it, right? So we go and rent a hotel room, and actually I had my dad rent the hotel room, which was fairly horrifying. So for as good as my actual first time was that night having sex for the first time, I had to sit through with my dad and listen to him give me kind of a sex talk, kind of not a sex talk. He basically told me, he's like, son, I'm Christian, and we don't really like these kind of things. And I was like, fuck, Dad, just throw me the hotel room. And he started laughing and said, sure.
I never had one of those, ever, and I'm pretty happy about never having that talk with either of my parents.
You are lucky, because it's worse than you think.
I can only imagine that's the worst thing ever.
So my dad got me this hotel room, and I was like, okay, well, I need to go and buy condoms. And we didn't have self-checkouts in Safeway or anything at this time, so I went down, and, I'm really embarrassed. I don't know, what kind to buy, what size or anything, so I buy, average Joe condoms. So I go to Safeway, and there's two cashiers. There's
Average Joe, my favorite type of condom.
Yeah, right? I didn't want to go and buy, the double XL condoms,
It looked like
I never buy plain Jane, only Average Joe.
So it's okay. I'm in line. There's one girl cashier. There's one guy cashier, and I'm like, "Fuck! I'm not going through the girl. She's gonna laugh at me, thinking I'm buying condoms. I'm like a dirty scumbag." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm like 18. I'm a total geek with girls, whatever, right?" So I'm going through, and I'm standing in the guys' line, and this other really, really smoking hot cashier comes on and opens up her till, and she's like, I can take whoever's next. And I was like, fuck, that's me. So I'm standing there, and I'm like, I'm telling the guy behind me, I'm like, you go ahead. He's like, no, I have a cart full of groceries. You go, I insist. So I was like, fuck. So I was in there, and I remember I was in line, so I grabbed a Mars bar and a USA Today to kind of hide the condoms.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. You got to cover up the condoms with other purchases.
Right, exactly.
I'm buying lots of things, not just condoms.
So I didn't know what she thought I was going home to do, read USA Today and eat chocolate.
With the chocolate and condoms.
So that's how it happened. I got the talk from my dad. I bought the condoms. I went to the hotel, had sex. It was my first time. It was actually really good, other than that. So, yeah.
Well,
and you know what? I was I think 18 or 19. I was old. So there it is.
Do you still talk to Falafel?
Sort of, not really. Every now and then.
Okay, so my first time went pretty well. The actual first time went well. Things leading up to that were slightly ridiculous, though. So I met Gingina when I was...
Gingina, is that a disease?
No, Gingina, that's the code name, Gingina. I was 17.
Ninja.
I was 17. I was not supposed to have a girl in the house. I currently resided in my parents' basement. I had a nice room down there. I had kind of snuck her in. We were there. Things were kind of going well for me, and I realized before it was about to happen, I did not have any condoms, which I needed, which she agreed upon.
Had you ever bought condoms before?
No, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was 17. I was kind of illiterate in this sense, so I couldn't go upstairs because I didn't want to wake my parents up. But I had this window that was at ground level because I lived in the basement. So what I did is I told her, like, give me 10 minutes and I'll be right back with condoms. So she said okay, and she didn't sound very impressed, but she said okay. So what I did was I opened this window, I climbed through it into the street, no shoes. I took a little bit of money with me, didn't know really how much I needed. And you have to remember, the closest store to me, the convenience store, was probably like 7 blocks away. Middle of the night, it was like 1 in the morning. So I get out this window, I have a little bit of money, I have a girl waiting for me, and I just run. I run like I've never run in my life before.
Did you have no shoes?
I had no shoes. I was running as fast as I could run. I needed these condoms like nothing I've never needed in my life.
Right.
So after about 8 minutes of running, I almost could not run anymore, and I just kept running. And my legs were burning, my heart was like fucking pounding out of my chest, I was out of breath. I stopped for a split second, and I was like completely 100% out of breath, dying, like I couldn't go anymore. I had about 2 blocks to get to this convenience store that I knew was open, and I could get condoms at. And the little voice in my brain was like, you fucking piece of shit, you run right now. What are you doing standing in the street? Run! And I fucking kept running. So I finally get to this convenience store, I get in there, and now the awful thing about this is that the condoms are not just on a shelf in the aisle. They are hung up on pegs behind the cashier, behind the desk.
Worst.
So you have to ask the guy who's there what you want. So I get in line. There's 2 people ahead of me, and I'm like, okay, perfect. These 2 will go through their shit and be gone, and I'll be all right, and I'll ask for what I want. By the way, I don't know what the fuck I'm getting, so I just look at the blue Trojan box. I'm like, I've heard that before. I'm getting those ones. That's gold. I get in line. Like 6 more people walk into this convenience store. A mother with a little kid is right behind me, and then like an older guy is right behind her right away. So the next 2 people in line go through. I'm out of breath. I walk up. This very, very elderly Asian man says something along the lines of, hello, how can I help you? And I say, give me the blue box. The blue box, that's what I need right there. Can I have those? So he's like, oh, which one? And he literally turns around and he's like, which one do you need? And I was like, the blue box, please. Can I have the blue box? And he's like,
Mommy, what's in the blue box?
And he's
Not until you're 40.
so he finally says, oh, okay. And he gets it down and puts it on the table. I kind of look over my shoulder. The mother is looking disapprovingly at me. The old man is shaking his head. I throw money on the table. I just have enough. I have enough, just barely. They were like $10. I had like $9.55 on me or something in my pocket. I grab those condoms. I run out that door, and I run almost all the way back. I'm about a block away from the house, and I almost fall over because I'm out of breath at this point. I've run like 20 blocks there and back.
What happened to no shirt, no shoes, no service?
Well, I had a shirt.
Well, she's waiting for him back at...
I had a shirt. I didn't have shoes, which no one seemed to notice because my feet were bloody and raw.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so I get back to the house. I climb back through that window and fucking have sex. It was great.
Were you even alive enough to have sex, or were you too tired?
No, I was good. I was good at that point. I think my brain just took over and said like, hey, bro, it's finally happening. Just take care of it. But everything leading up to the sex was pretty awful.
So this is the story that I want to hear. Is about Diamond Dave's first time.
Follow-up question again. Do you still talk to Mangina?
It's Gingina.
It's Greninja.
It's Gingina, guys. Get it right. And no, actually, that happened one time, and I didn't talk to her after that ever again.
Obviously swept her off her feet.
I'll be totally, completely honest with you. I don't really remember her name, so I'm just going to say Gingina because that's easier. Diamond Dave.
Man, this is intense being put on the spot.
Put on the spot. Are you making this up?
Talk. What did you do? We want to know.
I'd been dating this girl for probably 6 to 8 months, and she'd actually come all the way to my parents' house in Chicago, where it was actually New Year's Eve. And we had kept things pretty simple, nothing too crazy, because obviously, you're worried about your first times or what's going to happen. And, it hits 12 o'clock, celebrating, gets to 12:30, so my parents go to bed, we're going to bed. And she's like, I want to celebrate. I'm like, if I can get us more drinks.
Yeah, she wants to celebrate.
She's like, no, I want to celebrate. And I'm like, oh fuck.
Fuck.
I didn't bring anything. Like, I wasn't prepared. So she automatically pulls, like, a box of condoms out. And I'm like, it's game time. Let's go.
Wish it could have been that easy for me.
My first time was good. I've got a follow-up story, which is pretty funny, though. So it happens. We get through the night, and the bed sheets that my parents had currently had were cream-colored and fairly light. So
Yeah, they were cream-colored. That's Diamond's first time for you.
You know what I mean.
You just said fucking
Okay. They're cream-colored. Go ahead.
So both our first times, we wake up the next morning, and obviously after stuff happens, there's a bit of stuff everywhere, and I'm freaking out because, like, how am I supposed to explain this to my parents? So, like a champion, she pulls out Tide to Go, and she's like, don't worry, I got this. Proceeds to clean up the whole thing with Tide to Go, and it worked like a charm.
Why didn't you keep this girl? Where is she right now? What is this girl's name?
I cannot say.
What's her code name?
What's her code name?
Her code name is Tide to Go.
Tide to Go.
Tide to Go.
Yeah.
Where is Tide to Go? I have never had a girl Tide to Go shit after stuff has happened. That's unreal.
I will say this, like, for anybody listening, Tide to Go works. I'm not bullshitting you. It cleaned the whole thing up.
Dave Meyer, backing Tide to Go.
Definitely back in Tide to Go. And
That'll be the Cool Story Show's first endorsement.
Tide to Go. I haven't talked to her since.
Okay, so really quickly before we sign off, did you guys ever put on a condom before you put it on for the first time to do your business?
Definitely.
I had never had, and I'd never put it on the first time. She put it on for me, which was awesome. And then the next time, I had to put it on by myself, and I fucked it up.
Yeah, I tried for like 20 minutes. My first time putting on a condom, I was like, thought I was gonna rip my skin off or something. I was like, how the fuck does this work?
It's hard. It's not easy.
Ladies,
well,
it's a lot harder than
easy.
you might think. Especially now if you've been drinking. Sometimes that shit is, you can put it on the wrong way. And
I've got a good drinking story that will follow up in another podcast.
And until then, this has been the Cool Story Show Quickie. Thank you for tuning in. You can find me on Twitter at Spiteri316.
Aaron at Corbett48.
Dave with the cream-colored sheets at Dave Meyer 7.
Tide to Go. It works, people.
Tide.
Tide to Go.
Time to go.